Olá pessoal, aqui quem fala é o Felipe do canal Phil Games. Lembrem de deixar aquele like esperto, se inscrevam, compartilhem e ativem o sininho para não perderem nenhum vídeo. Eu posto vídeos todas as segundas, quartas e sextas e vamos para mais uma aventura de Skyrim. Continuando a saga do Arco de Auriel, da DLC Downward, hoje vamos adentrar a Caverna Darkfall, conforme vimos no manuscrito Raça no vídeo anterior. Nessa missão, é bom ter em mãos o feitiço Vela, ou ser um Khajiit, já que eles têm como habilidade inata enxergar no escuro. É muito bom também, esta missão, farmar os kits de armaduras, armas e escudo dos Falmers. Para quem quer montar esses kits é um prato cheio. Lembrando que é um Falmer, o comum, é um dos poucos itens que podem ser usados junto com coroas, tiaras ou máscaras. Eu uso um capacete Falmer junto com uma coroa de Aetério, o que possibilita a ativação de duas pedras sagradas. Há também muitas plantas diferentes nessa caverna, plantas que crescem somente aqui, além de animais diferentes também, cervos e tigres dentro de sabre.
These people were... Why would anyone want to set up camp here? Something's not right here. Be careful. I think we may be in for some trouble.
O legal aqui, já perto do final, é quando conversamos com o Paladino e ele conta para nós essa história dos Falmers, como eles perderam a visão e por que eles são chamados de traídos. Então eu vou deixar aqui todos os diálogos correrem soltos aqui livremente, não vou editar essa parte, que é bem legal saber como começou essa história toda dos Falmers.
I am Knight Paladin Gelabor. Welcome to the great chantry of Auriel. Auriel, Alkosh, Akatosh, so many different names for the sovereign of the Snow Elves. I prefer Snow Elf. The name Falmer usually holds a negative meaning to most travelers. Those twisted creatures you call Falmer, I call the Betrayed. Of course, you're here for Auriel's bow. Why else would you be here? I can help you get it, but first, I must have your assistance. I need you to kill Archcurate Vertha, my brother. The kinship between us is gone. I don't understand what he's become, but he's no longer the brother I once knew. It was the Betrayed. They did something to him. I just don't know why Auriel would allow this to happen. They swept into the chantry without warning, and began killing everyone without pause. The chantry was a place of peaceful worship. I led a small group of paladins, but we were no match for the Betrayed's sheer numbers. They slaughtered everyone, and stormed the inner sanctum, where I believe they corrupted Vertha. He's alive. I've seen him, but something's wrong. He never looks as though he's in pain or under duress. He just stands there and watches, as though waiting. Leaving the way shrines unguarded would be violating my sacred duty as a Knight Paladin of Auriel, and an assault on the Betrayed guarding the inner sanctum would only end with my death. Yes, let me show you. This structure is known as a way shrine. They were used for meditation and for transport when the chantry was a place of enlightenment. Prelates of these shrines were charged with teaching the mantras of Auriel to our initiates.
What's that basin in the center signify?
Once the initiate completed his mantras, he'd dip a ceremonial ewer in the basin at the way shrine's center and proceed to the next way shrine.
So these initiates had to lug around a heavy control water. Marvelous. How long did they have to do that?
Well, once the initiate's enlightenment was complete, he'd bring the ewer to the chantry's inner sanctum. Pouring the contents of the ewer into the sacred basin of the sanctum would allow him to enter for an audience with the arch-curate himself.
All that just to end up dumping it out? Makes no sense to me.
It's symbolic. I don't expect you to understand.
So, let's get this straight. We need to do all that nonsense to get into the temple so we can kill your brother and claim Ariel's bow.
I know how it all sounds. But if there was another way, I'd have done it long ago. The only way to get to my brother is by following in the initiate's footsteps and traveling from way shrine to way shrine, just as they did. The first lay at the end of Darkfall Passage, a cavern that represents the absence of enlightenment. There are 5 in total, spread far apart across the chantry. Caves? Oh no. The chantry encompasses far more than a few caves, as you'll soon discover. But before I send you on your way, you'll need the initiate's ewer. Once you've located a way shrine, there'll be a spectral prelate tending to it. They will allow you to draw the waters from the shrine's basin, as if you've been enlightened. This may be the last time we're able to converse. If you have any questions before you leave, I suggest you ask them. Otherwise, all I can do now is grant you my hopes for a safe journey. We were once a wealthy and prosperous society that occupied a portion of Skyrim. Unfortunately, we were constantly at war with the Nords, who claimed the land as their ancestral home. In a manner of speaking, we had always maintained an uneasy alliance with the underground-dwelling dwarves, and when faced with extinction, we turned to them for help. Surprisingly, they agreed to protect us, but demanded a terrible price: the blinding of our race. There were splinter groups that resisted the agreement, and even some that sought alternate alliances. But when it was all said and done, those elves were either slaughtered, vanished, or gave up and took the dwarves' bargain. I've often asked myself that very same question. The blinding of my race was supposedly accomplished with a toxin, certainly not enough to devolve them into the sad and twisted beings they've become. The chantry is quite isolated, so it took some time for word of the dwarves' offer to reach us here. By the time the compact had been completed, it was too late for us to even attempt to intervene. Correct. We only numbered perhaps 100 at the time, so our presence remained a secret to the dwarves and the Nords. Ironically, our undoing came at the hands of our own people. Yes, they swarmed the chantry in vast numbers until we were completely overrun. We never really stood a chance. I assumed that the arch-curate was corrupted by them when they found a way to breach the inner sanctum. Verther and myself are the only 2 snow elves that remain. May Auriel keep you free from harm.
It wasn't as unpleasant as I thought it would be. Kind of soothing, actually. I feel a little warmer now. Done and done. Where'd you come from? Done and done. on the other side of this? I'm the one to keep it there. That'll teach you. Are you seeing this? It's fantastic. Where'd you go? Done and done. I think that's another way shrine up there. Here we go.
Welcome, Initiate. This is the Way Shrine of Illumination. Are you prepared to honor the mantras of Auriel and fill your vessel with his enlightenment? Then behold Auriel's gift, my child. May it light your path as you seek tranquility within the inner sanctum.
Bom, pessoal, eu vou ficando por aqui. Dê aquele like esperto se curtiram, se inscrevam no canal, ativem o sininho e compartilhem o vídeo. Isso ajuda muito o canal a crescer. Então, muito obrigado e uma ótima semana a todos vocês.